Well, good afternoon. I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome to this special little edition of Get Real with Rick Dancer. Let me make my camera here in the right place. Wow. Okay. So, yeah, is it possible to have a civil conversation about gun control or about the shooting and what happened? I think all of us are concerned. I just went back and um, looked at a video that I did back at the Thurston High School shooting back in the day, and brought back a lot of really not so great memories for me. I think that sometimes in this area, when you've been through something like that, it really does impact you in a different way because it feels personal. How's it going, Chris? How are you doing? And I'm watching some of the talk and the conversation online on something I posted about this. Because one thing I learned from the Thurston High School shooting is to talk about the people who were killed and injured, and to say very little about the person who inflicted the deadly force on them. Hi, Dana, how are you? What's up, Rick? Well, I'm just, we got a show tonight at the Twisted River Saloon tonight as part of our March Madness contest, and that people can win to. But then I'm sitting here watching online as people are discussing and talking about the shootings in Colorado, and I just felt like coming on here and asking a few questions of people just to see, what do you think? What do we do? I think one of the problems I have with this always is it becomes political. I mean, we're not even out the gate, and it turns into a political football that's being shoved around. And what the problem for me with that is, then we never talk about the real issue. Here's Bourne. Says semi-automatic rifles can be used at home defense and hunting. Automatic rifles have no place in society. Biden has no right to take away all assault rifles. I have a person who works near me in teaching gun classes, and said in Iowa, so people are calling and really scared that they're going to lose their guns. And I know, what ends up happening is, on stuff like this, is, the politicians push and push and push and push to see how far they can get you to go, how much they can get away with. The trouble with the gun issue is that I honestly think I have as many Democrat friends as Republican friends who are gun owners and want their guns. So I think it's become one of those things that people think is a right-wing issue, but it's really not. And that's why not much happens in that area, because they push and then they realize there's pushback and they can't get very far with it. So I didn't even know about the shooting till I saw your post. Yeah, I haven't paid attention to the news. I saw it this morning when I was at the gym working out. And I believe in gun rights, but we need more mental health checks before someone can purchase an AR. Yeah, maybe. I think we just need more mental health help. We got a lot of, and where was this guy from? And what was going on? Because, I mean, you can't, one of the things that bothers me, and this is just me, is that we blame a gun and we don't blame the person behind the gun. Guns can't kill unless somebody pulls a trigger. I mean, that's a fact of life. And I think that often gets overlooked. What do you know about ARs? Not a whole lot. I don't own a gun yet, but I'm getting one. I'm going to go through the process, and my wife and I'm not getting an AR. I need something I can handle and use. But I have had death threats, and I've had people say some pretty fucking shitty things to me. And some of them scared me. And so my friends who are in the know are saying, Rick, you need to get a gun and learn how to use it first before you get it. But you need to learn how to use it. The unknown is what the issue we see, what has been done. What will they do next? Who, in terms of Susie, so who? I love your comment. I'm just wanting to clarify that just a little bit for me, if you would. I'm reading he's from Syria. So how long has he been here? Did it say how long he's been here? Democrats blame guns, not the people. Not all Democrats, so you can't say that. I seriously, I just said this, Melinda, a little bit up. I mean, you can say what you want, but I don't think that's true, because I know a ton of Democrats and independents and libertarians who have guns, and They will not let their rights to their guns be taken away. Guns cause crimes like flies cause garbage. That's an interesting. Criminals don't follow laws. That's Cindy. Or Cinda. I guess that's your name, Cinda. That's one of the ones that I read on there too that I thought was kind of interesting too. Is it's here's my fear. This is the thing that scares me, and I'm just being really honest with you. Is what scares me, or makes me question all of that, is that this is just me personally. One of the reasons I think we have gun rights in this country is because when you take away people's rights to have a gun, and to the point where the government has more guns than the people, we're in deep shit. I don't ever want to live in a country where the government has more guns than we do, because then they can do whatever they want to do. And I think we've already seen with COVID that they can push pretty far. If you take away the rights of people in the United States of America to own guns, then where's your power to stop the government from coming in and doing what they've done in other countries all over the world? I have a young man I talk with from Nigeria, and he says they just kill people in the streets. Nobody has any guns. Nobody has any way to protect themselves. Attack on your own soil in 2001. The current shooter is a Syrian refugee. Thurston happened because the Second Amendment is not respected. There was no one to put down before he became in the mass shooting. See, here's the other thing I always think of. What if somebody in that grocery store would have had a gun? Would have been carrying. And that's what I went in one time into Wandering Goat coffee shop, and I saw a guy, real hippie looking dude, and he had a gun on his waist, and it kind of freaked me out at first. I went, oh, wow. And then I started thinking about it and going, wait a minute. If somebody walked in here and started shooting, that guy would be my only protection. So I went up and thanked him for carrying. AR is not a very popular weapon at all. There are much more powerful guns. Tyranny. Rick, I have had a CHL for 33 plus years. Now I'm going to be really stupid, Steve. I don't know what that is. Amen. Ding, ding, ding. They are already saying we have to be lab rats to have a job or travel. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see what that happens. Oh, and tomorrow night we are, just so you guys know, tomorrow night at 5. Who's sponsoring that? Oh, Parker Heights Real Estate Company is sponsoring a show, and we're going to have a local expert come in and talk about OSHA's the OSHA rules, what they want to make permanent to keep the mask mandate and some of the other things intact indefinitely. We're going to talk about that, what it means, what it really is, not just what the media is saying, and then give you some opportunity to say something. Best answer to a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. That's a good. I like that. My question is, when can we talk about solving the problem instead of trying to hurt people who don't follow the right narrative? Oh God, Bill, I love you. Yeah. It's like you don't even want to say anything. I thought all day about doing this, and then I thought, my wife and I, we're not living that way. I'm going to say what I think, and then people come on and say, I had somebody come on and comment about masks and saying, I said, I wear mine, but I don't think they work. In fact, I had a friend who got sick because of her mask. Her doctor told her, and I said, so I think that my position is this is making me unhealthy, and I've read stuff. And then this person came on and said, well, the fact is they don't. And I'm going, well, wait a minute. The fact is, according to your facts, and I hear stuff on the media, and then I go look for other answers too. And that's where I'm getting my facts. I'm going, something doesn't add up here. And I'm a former reporter. And when something smells like shit, it usually is. And I'm smelling a bunch of shit. So once again, a mental person of nationality kills people with a sport rifle, and all hell breaks loose. And now we get back to the ban the guns train. Background checks only work if for the honest, not a thug, terrorist, or thief. Kevin, I totally agree with you on that. It's like, do you think that People who want to kill are not going to find a gun or something. And remember all those people that were driving over people with cars? I mean, if people are crazy and want to find out, we need to find out, one, why was this guy here? If he's what's a nationality? What was he? Person nationality. Somebody said he was a refugee. So why was he here? Was he here legally? We need to find that out. But see, we can't ask that question because then we'd be getting that whole door gets opened up and that whole shit storm gets smelling. Most people make statements about ARs and have no clue what they are talking about. I know, yeah, that's why I don't say anything about that. But yeah, so go to a gun shop. There's a great one just south of Junction City. I've been there and have an open conversation with them. Yeah, I think people hear AR and they think, Rambo and a machine gun. Hi, Tina, how are you? Exactly, 100% agree. I would have shot him. See, I don't know enough about it, which is why I'm going to go learn. My wife and I are going to get concealed weapons permits. I'm going to wear it. I'm going to carry it. And I'm not doing it because I'm concerned. I get death threats and people write me personal messages and say I'm killing people because I don't agree with the mask mandate, which I don't understand how I'm killing people when I do wear my mask, even though I don't agree with the mask mandate. And I also kind of want to know, why is that a fucking problem? Because you have to beat it into me. So I find out that I don't think they work. Okay. And then I talk about that. But I still wear my mask and I talk about that out of respect for people because they think that I should. So why do you keep hammering and hounding me until you think I'm going to agree with you? Because I don't. And it's okay. But it makes you nervous because I'm talking about it because there's a lot of other people who don't agree either. And that's what makes you nervous. Government BS again to say that shit every year and blame other races and religions. Yeah, wouldn't it be offended? I would be so offended if my family member were killed and then politicians started using this as a springboard for what they want to do and pretend to be that they're so concerned about people. They're so concerned about people. You'd find ways to fund some of those trillions of dollars into mental health that's been caused. How much mental health issues have been caused by what we're doing right now with the response to COVID. How much of that? I mean, do we know any of that kind of stuff? No, we don't. We just lock down and get scared instead of looking at the big picture. What is this doing to us? Putting in the face. That's half of my thing with the mask is you are separating people. You're causing them not to be able to communicate. You're dividing us. That scares the shit out of me. You're dividing us and then you're going to conquer us. And I will not sit by and listen to that. And that's my problem with some of that. But people don't want to hear that because if they don't believe it, they think, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. No, I'm not. I'm a big picture guy. I look at, as a reporter, you look at everything and go, why doesn't this make sense? He was a refugee that came to the U.S. during the Obama era. But was he here legally? Because if he's here legally, then now, and maybe you have a different term for like the good old West. Susie, we have isolated people and are angry. Susie, you and I are like on the same plane. I don't think we understand the damage we've done as a culture to people by separating them for this long. And that mask is is a control thing. It keeps you from, you can't have a regular conversation in a mask. It doesn't work. Hold on. CHL, concealed handgun license. Oh, okay, Don. I'm sorry. That's what I'm going to get. Concealed handgun. Now everybody's answering for me. Yeah. I'm sorry. Because there's a lot of people on here. It takes me a while to get down on your things. So who else? Kevin Worley, I carry every day and nobody other than one knows that concealed is concealed for a reason. Don't show, don't tell. Treat the mentally ill before they become dangerous to others. Yeah, in this country, we do a lousy job of taking care of mental illness. At least we're talking about it now more than we ever did before. But I don't think we think about, the consideration that what this was going to do to people, to their mental health, and to our kids. I don't know I'm so glad my kids are in their 30s. I can't imagine. People who have ill intentions will always get a hold of a weapon, regardless of what they're planning. I agree, Chris. I agree with you, and that's the problem is why are they so angry? That's where felony carry, no mask. Rick, you and I have met, and you did not know I carry 24/7. I kind of want to carry so people know. I just want to wear it as part of my outfit. Neighbors are misfired. Christmas. Hold on. This is a good one. It's a big one. I want to put a hole in my brand new TV we got for Christmas. If my boyfriend had been home and sitting at his desk, he would have been dead. Fortunately, we're not home. This was a random mistake that could have been fatal. Situation like Colorado don't follow any sense in human descent function. No one knows when. I don't hate guns or people who own them. No, to be really honest, my son has guns, but I didn't grow up with that. So and honestly, I want to do this, but it does make me uncomfortable. Not because of, but it's a powerful weapon. I'm going to respect that son of a bitch like anything. But it's out of my wife's and my comfort zone. But when I get emails from people saying the things that they say to me and the personal messages and stuff, it tells me that I need to be prepared and I need to know how to use it. So I have a friend who trains and uses that. And then we have a client, Oregon Concealed. They're going to come on next Tuesday and talk about what they do and how you can get the test done. So I'm going to take that test, and then I'm going to go get somebody to take me out and try some different guns to see what I'm comfortable with and what my needs are. You know what I mean? Because I know nothing. I have to educate myself before I do something like this. Anyone that hates and death threat Rick Dancer needs a spanking and a sit in the corner. Well, they're out there. That's the thing. Here's what I'm learning. For a lot of years, I was on the news, and I just sat on the fence, and because I had to. You're supposed to be, non-biased, and you're supposed to, that's your job. And so when I ran for public office, and people found out at the time I was a Republican, they came unglued. People come up to me and go, "I never knew you were a Republican." And I said, "Well, I guess I did a good job of being fair." And they go, "Yeah." And then after running as a Republican, I realized I'm not a Republican. I'm surely not a Democrat. I tried being an independent, but they're the same thing. It's all horseshit. So I left that party when they were supporting someone else from another party who's one of the most partisan people I have ever met in my life. And I thought, you're the independent party, and you're sponsoring the most partisan person in our Congress. And I went, can't do this anymore. That's phony. So I disaffiliated, and I'm a non-affiliated voter. But you know what? Once you've come out of the closet as a Republican, there's always people just want to label you because it's a way to try to discredit you. So people aren't into having discussions anymore. What they want to do is just discredit you and throw you away. So if they can say, "Oh, Rick Dancer is just being a right wing, blah blah blah," I'm not a right wing. I'm not a left wing. You know what? So you've heard that thing. There's a left wing and a right wing, but they're all part of the same bird. If we were a bird, if parties were a bird, I would be the chicken's ass. Okay? That's where I would be. I'd be the chicken's ass. And then there's the left wing and the right wing. And I want neither part of either one of them. But people won't let you do that. They don't want to be, because if you want to control a conversation, first you bully, and then you make assumptions about stuff, or you turn it to your argument direction. Oh, I guess you meant such and such. And the problem is that each one of us thinks that we're right and that we have the answers. So we'll put up with other people, but really listening to them, we don't really do that. That's not something we really do. We only listen to what we want to hear. And we go into the conversation with the idea of persuading someone. I don't persuade anybody. I'm not here to persuade anyone. I'm telling you what I think. I'm telling you my concerns, and then you can do with what you want. And if you want to write OSHA, I'm concerned that OSHA is going to try to make the mask mandate permanent. If you want to write them and tell them that you think that's a good idea, I applaud you. But I'm going to write and tell them that I think it's fucked up and that they shouldn't do it. Now, does that mean I hate you? No. I support your right to have the same right I do. And so this is the problem I have with some of the real fanatic mask people, as I would call them, is, if you want to wear the mask for, another 6 months or a year, I would never make fun of you. I understand that that's what you believe to be true. And I'm fine with that. I don't think anything, but don't tell me that because I think it's a detriment to my health and to my mental health and to the people around me and to society and our social system. That's my problem with it. That I'm wrong and that I have to toe the line because the popular thing is to do this. Well, the bottom line is I've never done the popular thing. When I was in high school, junior high and high school, I smoked pot. When I stopped smoking pot, everybody else that was popular started smoking pot. It's always been like that. I've never been in the right place at the right time. I'm not a guy of the elite. I'm not someone who is people who want to be climbing the social ladder of life. I'm not the guy that you want to hang out with. I'm a guy of the masses, and that scares the shit out of people. That's always been who I am. So when people start trying to put you in a box and do stuff like that, I think it's just crazy. Emma, I 100% agree with you. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. But if I don't want to wear a mask, then I shouldn't have to wear a mask. That's why we live in a free country, or what used to be a free country. If I want to get vaccinated, I should do my part and get vaccinated, whatever that part is. If I don't want to get vaccinated, I should do my part and not get vaccinated. It's none of your business what my choices are. And somehow the government and the CDC and all those entities have done an amazing job of making it okay to stick your nose in other people's business. Well, it's not. It's not. You keep your nose in your business, in your car, in your fenced-in yard, whatever it is, and it's not what I'm doing and what other people around you are doing. It's none of your business. And what they did was they made it so that the messaging was amazingly. They did a great job. It wasn't true, but they did a great job. So they made it so now, by doing these things, you're not just taking care of yourself, you're helping the world. And if you don't do that, then you're killing people. And I've had so many people, not that many, but I've had people write me and say, how does it feel to have killed somebody? Oh, fuck you. I didn't kill anybody. And that's the thing that's so ridiculous about this. We have to get you guys. I really am nervous that I don't know how we come back from this. I just see people so, that's what I say to people right there, Ann. I say, when they say, are you going to get the vaccine? I go, HIPAA. HIPAA. I don't have to tell anybody what I'm doing. But what I think we need to be really careful of is that we still have to live together. And I don't know how that's going to work, because they've made it. When I say they, I think it's the messengers, and I don't know who they all are, but whoever's creating this message has done an amazing job of pitting us against each other. And I refuse to be against people. I mean, if you come on my page, I've blocked some people lately because they come on and tell lies about me and stuff. I have, when I ran for office, I I realized that the world was fucked up. I mean, I saw it really quick. Um, and but this has shown me a whole different level of people being mean, and really the peer pressure to try to get you to buy into and believe what everybody else wants you to believe. And I'm not doing that. And it's not like I'm just sitting here coming up with ideas that make me comfortable. It makes me very uncomfortable, but I do my research. And so I'm not watching Fox or CNN, or the only thing I see of that is when I'm in the gym, the sound's turned off, I look up and I go, good God, the world is fucked up. Because I see all the headlines and all it is, the royal family in turmoil. And I just had an article. Did you guys see the article I posted? Hold on. Let me get this out for you. This is an article. It's on my Facebook page. And come on, hold on. Where are you? Come on. Gotta go. You guys are in my way. Hold on. I'll find it. A friend of mine sent this to me because they know what I talked about. Okay, so it's talking about bad news bias. And so the article is in the New York Times. So those of you who trust traditional media, here's your article for you. But it said they did a study and they found that there was far more reporting of negative COVID news, frightening COVID news, than there was of anything scientific. And the stats are all in there. All the information's in there. In fact, let me just take this, and I'm going to, since we can do this now in our little world of media, I'm going to stick it in the comment section here, and you guys can go read it at your leisure and see the story. There, that should take you right to it when we're done. And but it's talking about how the news media has covers much more of the fear and doom and gloom, which I know it's hard to report when people are dying. But what about other just information, like scientific information? And it says in this article that there's a very little scientific information that they were reporting on, which I find extremely interesting. I watch it all, left, right, CNN. So I don't watch any of that. I see enough on here on Facebook, but then what I do is I go find articles and stuff. I ask questions like, what are people saying about the vaccine? What are people saying? What are the experts saying about this? Scientific conversations. And it's amazing what's out there if you look. And I think what I'm starting to see is I think some of the people who just toot the company line are failing to do their research, and they're just listening to the mouthpiece, the media. And because if you start really looking at this stuff, there's some pretty frightening things in there. I see the structure of their social engineering. Yeah. So anyway, so with the gun conversation, to me, let's go back to that a little bit. To me, what the conversation should be right now is, who is this guy? What was he suffering with? What mental problems does he have? Where did those come from? How do we put money? How do we put resources into mental health? Was there a loophole with the guns? How did he get the gun? We need to find that out. But rather than accusing and blaming an inanimate object, we need to find out what was going through that guy's head, and how did he get that? Who did he get that from? Because if he did it legally, then maybe they need to look at some of that. But I believe anybody can get what they want to get if they're that. So we got to figure out why he was to that point where he's willing to go in and kill 10 innocent people. And that's mental health. And we can always talk about it, but it's not as sexy, is it, as gun rights? Not as sexy. And it doesn't feel, what if with the politicians, both sides of the politicians, what if we didn't pay attention to what they want, and we did what do we want? I want to know why that guy did this. I want to understand what kind of mental health issues he was dealing with, or was he just angry, or what was it? But I would be much more, what does every person have in common? It's not how they got their gun. It's the mental health aspect of these shooters and people that are doing this. So it's not going to stop. The guns, the people are not. Dana, you're right. It's not going to. That's I said that earlier. Guns don't shoot by themselves. Somebody pulled the trigger, and we need to find out where the guy's head was, because if there's something we can do to help people out there, we're that desperate. And then as a society, where's our guilt? You know, was this guy here legally or illegally? In terms of our guilt, are we really doing all we can? What about even the reaction to COVID? Is the way we're reacting and treating people, even online, is that causing mental illness for people? What's our role? Oh, that's harder questions, huh? That's a little tougher. When you can't blame President Biden for that. It's us. What the fuck are we doing? It's so easy to blame people in office, and I don't care if it's Trump or Biden. It's really easy to blame other people. And what have you done? What have we done by going along with this? When this is all over, there's going to be questions to ask, and nobody's going to ask them. I'd be curious to know how many of these gun folks have kids sitting in front of a screen playing these ridiculous violent video games. See, well, Tony, and that's a question that gets poo-pooed all the time. But yeah, how much have we desensitized people about this kind of thing, about this sort of stuff? And then people poo-poo that and go, no, it's about this and guns don't kill people, people kill people. So I think we can agree. I think we found some things we can agree on here. Tim Baker, you got to hear Timothy. Government doesn't want to invest in mental health. You can't see it. It's not a bridge or military. It's not a popular thing to pour money into. Mental health has been a problem for a long time. Amen. Exactly. And there's no political dollars behind mental health. Our own governor tried to shut down the Junction City State Hospital. A brand new facility built in Junction City, and then Brown tries to shut it down. What? Do we not need mental health counseling? I guess not. No, especially after her orders for COVID. Now she's created even more problems. I'm not sure what you mean. I've read accounts of family members of the school shootings who are not against guns. If you're talking to me, I don't think I said that, but I think there's a lot of families that have lost people to gun violence that aren't against guns. You are very interesting to help me to go to the right place for real information. So thank you. You're welcome, Penny. I don't know of the right information. I just go to a lot of places and then I draw my own conclusions. And that doesn't sit very well with people today, because what we want is everybody to think alike. Because if everybody thinks alike, they'll all toe the line. And if everybody toes the line, it's much easier to get along. Can't we just get along? Well, no, I guess we can't, because guess what? We all have different opinions. It used to be that we could get along and have different opinions. Now we have a narrative and developed by I don't know who. Somebody wants to contact me. Probably a death threat. Oh, you're replying to Laura Crow. Okay. In the same week, gave millions to the U of O. Well, who are you talking? I missed part of your saying and what you were talking about. What I'm beginning to really understand even better than I ever have. Oh my God. And if you follow the money, you can always find it. Okay, so here's a really super brave man, and I do love this man dearly. I lost my daughter, but the gun didn't jump up and shoot her. She had depression. Jennifer Baker took her life at 16. She shot herself with a gun. And then she found out, and the family found out then that she was struggling with depression. She would have been 40 on the 10th of March. She was 16 at the time. That's a dad, a father that lost his daughter to a gun shooting, to a gun, telling you the gun did not kill his daughter. His daughter took her own life because she had mental depression. So now why don't you tell Tim and Darlene, why don't you tell them, Mr. President and Mr. all you gun control people jumping on this bandwagon, why don't you give him advice on what do you do with that? Why doesn't Tim get to go? Tim and Darlene should get to go to the president's White House and sit down with him and say, why don't we stop doing this and start putting money into mental health, real money? If you can take out how many trillions for the COVID package that you caused, why can't we take 50 billion and put it into mental health services to find out what the hell is, what are we doing? What's going on here? Why don't we take our stimulus checks and donate them to something like that? It's kind of insulting, actually, when someone tells 10 families, if my kid got shot or killed himself, and then people started using that, politicians started using that to try to push their agenda, I would say, fuck you. Fuck you. My kid was innocent. And some mentally deranged person came in here and killed him. But again, mental health isn't the issue. It's that gun. Tim, thank you, man. You just kind of took that and brought it home. I'd like to see somebody come against that. Tell me why the father of a daughter who took her life with a gun isn't blaming the gun. And you be real careful. Because you're on my page. If you do one thing that brings any kind of sadness to them, I will pull your comment and I will block it, and I will feel no remorse. Father and Columbine taking the same position. John, I love you. I don't know yet, but I love you. But I'm not worried about it. I'm worried about Americans that act like they are victims of media propaganda, start crying and start shooting. Oh, I don't know about the last part, but yeah, if you know, that's what I said earlier, John, is if somebody would have been there that had a legal carrying permit, I wonder how many lives wouldn't have been lost. But if we take away the rights of gun owners to even do any of that, then who's going to stand up for anybody? All right, we'll wrap this up. Good discussion. Best show ever, right? Yeah, thanks, Don. Great discussion, everybody. Thank you for being kind. Timothy, thank you for having the biggest kahunas in Pleasant Hill. And tonight at 5 o'clock, we're going to do our March Madness, another March Madness restaurant. So what we're doing is Rogers Gardens in Springfield. Richard, who owns it, gave me $1,000. I picked 5 restaurants. He wanted to help restaurants and people. So I have 5 restaurants that we're giving $200 to, and they're giving $100 to $100 gift cards away to people that you nominate. So go to Rick, don't do it here, do it rickdancer.com. There's a contest sheet on there. Just put it on there, and then I will pick winners. We'll pick 10 winners, two for each different restaurant. So tonight will be at Twisted River Saloon in Springfield. They're one of our restaurants that someone will be winning two $100 gift cards to. So that's tonight at 5. We'll be live. I'm going to show you inside. It used to be a stripper place. So whenever I go in there, I feel so at home, because being a dancer, I mean, I've never stripped and danced publicly. I have a pole in my bedroom. But when I go in there, I feel at home. And anyway, he did a really great job. They stripped the club and redid it and made a really nice place out of it. And we'll show you inside tonight and talk to James about his business and what he's doing, and give you another opportunity. Always great to hear your thoughts, Rick. Thank you. Oh, you guys are welcome. Yeah, Club 1444. Yeah. Heather, how do you know? Did you ever work there? I thought I recognized you. Share this with your friends if you want to. Facebook's being really kind of poopy, and they're censoring people more and more. So when you share it on your page, it really helps us to get the numbers out. And this isn't sponsored by anyone, but it just helps us get the message out and people talking. Isaiah, people want to hear more about this poll. People or you? In either case, I'm a little nervous about that. Never heard of it. Oh, yeah. Oh, Isaiah, you're so funny. Hey, Isaiah, we need to go have lunch or coffee or something. I need to hang out with a person of your grandeur. I have questions I want to ask of somebody I trust and care about, who happens to also be Black. So yes, I'm being racist. I want to have lunch with a Black person. I have some racial questions that have come up, and I don't want to ask one here. I just want to do it with you. That's another show, though. Rick After Dark, we'll call. You have never seen a dancer until you've seen this pole dancer. Now YouTube's going to pull it saying I'm harassing people.